Africa, Africa. Feel the rhythm, feel the beat. Africa, Africa, time for the ending. Africa, 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 unscripted, unscripted. Africa, Africa, unscripted, Africa, unscripted. Real stories, real dreams, taking you big. Africa, Africa, unscripted. Africa unscripted, taking you behind the scenes. Africa.
Africa.
Okay, so welcome back. Still, we're here, Africa Unscripted, and joining us is my very good friend. I call him Papa. I've known him for quite a bit when he was here in Uganda. I also had a chance to meet him in Tanzania when he's working with the marketing director for Tigo in Tanzania. And what an incredible guy. When he's in Uganda here, he shook it. The guy has ideas. He can move and move in South Africa, but got married in Botswana. So actually, right now he's speaking us from Botswana, but I'm told he's moving to Mozambique, but he's French. Yeah, we call him OP, but it's Olivier. Welcome to Africa Unscripted. It's lovely to see you and lovely to hear from you again.
Yes, JK. Very nice to be with you, share some very interesting thoughts with the rest of the continent. I know we've got some amazing people joining us. Yeah, well done, JK, to put us together and to talk about a very interesting subject, which is content.
Yeah. Okay, so now let's start from probably to paint a picture so that people can know who you are and what you've done. I know some were Googling about you, but just, briefly, not 30 minutes, just tell us, about your life and what you've achieved and what you've done so that, we paint the picture.
All right, so I'll skip everything to do with preschool and so on, right? Born in France, moved to Africa in a very young age, around 23, went to Botswana, and I'm going to stay on topics. I actually have been dealing since my studies in France in content. At the time was physical content because there was no internet. So I worked a lot in event management, right, which is bringing content to the people. That's what I did in Botswana for 19 years, bringing international artists, bringing even strange things like ballet, like opera, but it was mostly mainstream music, right? Very much influenced by the South African, our friend from next door. Then I had a chance to move now to the telco world as a marketing director. I work in Moldova in Eastern Europe, in Chad for 3 years, then moved to Tanzania for 2 years, then Uganda. And the last part of my journey was actually to be the marketing director for a super app. And that is really relevant to today's discussion because it was not only a chat app, but there was a lot of content. So I'm very excited to share my knowledge, what I've learned. I've worked with about 10 countries, for production of content across. Some of them we commissioned, some of them we bought. So yeah, I'm looking forward to hear from the other guys and to give my thoughts. I'm sure we will come up with some very positive things and also for the listeners, right, to understand better what is the content. I think we are all today content producer. You put something on Facebook, here you go. You are a content producer.
Okay, so you've literally defined content. When you do something, then put it out there, you're a content producer. But let's talk about the policies in Botswana. What is it like? Because here in Uganda, someone just wake up one morning and get online and abuse you and gets away with it. What is it like? And what sort of content is moving, is trending in Botswana?
Yeah, well, things about Botswana, it's quite a big country. It's big like France, a bit bigger than France, actually. And there's only about 2.5 million inhabitants, right? So the population is mostly concentrated in Gaborone, the capital city, and then scattered around the country. It's a very young population, the African story, right? A lot of people are going into content. A lot of people are adopting AI, right? You just have to go to your usual social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and so on to see that people are actually producing content. The only problem that we have, and it's something I'm sure we will speak at length, is the monetization. How, as a content creator, you actually monetize. As a simple example, in Botswana, you cannot get royalties from YouTube, for example, right? You can get from, it's so a lot of the content creators in Botswana have moved to South Africa to be able to gain money from views. So it's still Botswana is still very much also like a non-digital country in a way, right? Okay, sorry, you want to say something? I think it's a bit of both. Some of them have also moved because there is access to more in South Africa, right? So landscape, celebrities and all of those things. And also, some of them probably, I don't know enough about what are people doing, but I know it's been a problem, and probably exactly what you're mentioning. People have found people overseas or even in South Africa to say, hey, open an account on my behalf because I need to earn some money from my work.
And recently, iSpeed was in Botswana. It was such a big thing. You see, an influencer coming from all the way from America, Europe, and what to promote Africa. And we didn't know much about Botswana. Actually, Speed really, really showed us a lot that is in Botswana, and we were amazed. Just one guy like this with his following and just coming and showing the country. Do you see? Because I'm sure it's going to come back. And do you see, like, for example, you in marketing, do you see, like, now, instead of having massive campaigns where you're going to put billions and billions of shillings, have a proper campaign to market Botswana and say, you know what, let's use these influencers to come and market the country?
It's already happening. There's a lot of former Miss Botswana, for example, or even government personality who are quite young. Our Ministry of Youth she's a lawyer. She's in her 30s. Those are the people that understand how to work with the social tools, let's call it like that, right? It's obviously the reach. It's always the same story, right? We all know that if you don't put money behind your content for you to get additional reach, then you won't get anywhere, or you will stay within a very, a small perimeter, right? I think government is also making some effort to go online to promote the country, and we've got a lot to promote, right? It's just that Botswana also, let's not forget, it's a very high-end tourism, right? Gaborone City is not the place where you could, like if you know me, JK, I'm sure you'll come here and I'll take you around and you'll have a fantastic time. But if you don't know anyone in Botswana, it's probably not the most exciting city to be. Like Kampala, for example. If you don't know anyone in Kampala, you'll still have a lot of fun, or Nairobi, or even Dar es Salaam. It's a small country, it's a small population, but there's things to do. But it's it doesn't have the history that Dar es Salaam, for example, has.
Okay, so now as someone that has been in marketing and spending millions and billions of shillings giving to New Vision and all these other stations that you're giving money here, and now the switch is happening to social media. Where do you think our content production is heading in the next, with now AI, robots coming up? And also your children, what they are consuming? Where do you see, as you that someone has been here, where do you see, where we're heading in the next 5 years?
I think one thing very important, and because I've been working with telcos and I've had access to data from probably the entire continent, and some of it is available online, of course, we should never forget that a huge part of the population is still not connected on the web or on the digital. It doesn't have a smartphone or doesn't have the money to be able to enjoy content. So, there is an acceleration, but it's not as fast. Why? Because also the cost of smartphone, everybody 5, 6 years ago or 10 years ago was saying, you will be able to buy a smartphone at $10, $20. It's not happening. Also because of the cost of the metals and whatever you have to buy to build the technology, right? So let's never forget and because you're talking about marketing, and I'm sure you want me to say, the money is shifting to digital. Well, let's not forget that you have part of the population that do not have access to the digital world, and they will still need to be exposed to content. Therefore, the traditional way of music festival, theater, exhibition, all of that will still be relevant because of what I've just mentioned, right? But yes, having worked for the last, from 2019 to 2025 into the digital world, and the objective was to acquire and retain digital users. Of course, that's where we spend our money because we wanted the people who have the data, who have the smartphone, to join us, to join the journey of that super app. So it all depends in which sphere you have. In the next 5 years, well, again, a very important topic. Everybody's a creator nowadays. Everybody can create content. Music, AI music. You can now go to Spotify and you can listen to AI music. It's just about, okay, is this my taste? Is it something that I want to listen to, right? So there's a big thing about AI and the creative, especially in the creative part, but it helps. It will definitely, make some jobs obsolete, right? Some people, graphic designers and so on, should be worried about where they are going. But a good creation is still a good creation. I compare AI as a toolbox. Yes, a toolbox that can take the spanner and do this for you, but it's still a toolbox, right? And it will happen in Africa. It's like mobile money, things that, the banking was a difficulties to get a bank account. Nowadays, mobile money is taking over, right? Will AI take over? Again, it's a question of accessibility. How many people will be able to access the AI tool? Because they're not going to come for free. We shouldn't be like thinking AI is free for all. Forget it. You have the money to use it. You have the money to push it to the consumer, because you will need to put money behind whatever you do for make sure, oh, well, I can do that logo online. It costs me $5 a month. You need to advertise that for people to come to your platform. But yeah, no, definitely there will be an adoption. It will happen. At what speed? I don't know. I think there is still a lot of traditional things that will carry on before taking a full revolution of digital on the continent. I hope it will.
You run you run a powerful app that had so much content. If you met a 23-year-old, what would you tell them, and what content do you advise them to do? Because you are seeing the algorithms in Africa, and where would you tell them that, where do you go now this year?
What is the number one passion or things that is really taking Africa by storm? There is two things or three things. Humor. So whatever we commissioned that had humor and very relevant to a particular country was definitely a winner. Then you've got football, right? If you can have content around football, you know that you will get the people to follow you and so on, right? And of course, there is some influences, right? But things like cooking, things like fashion, they were also, part of what people want to look at or to be inspired with, So there's a whole range of content that we did that actually appeared. Why? Because it was something done in Africa for Africa. Okay, so then, comes that very delicate question about moderation, right? Some platforms get away with you swearing, but when you are in Africa and people know where to find you, you have to be extremely careful of what interactions you can have with your consumer. So that app, unfortunately, apart from the like or the shares and so on, there was not a possibility to leave a comment because we didn't want it to become a problem or people. We know social media is a very open avenue for people to express their frustration. You can have a very good piece of content, but someone will just trash it or trash something else, and then it could become a problem, right? So, yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much for your insights on that. I think comedy, football, cooking, and fashion, those are places that our young people can look at and be able to produce content. And I'm told that you have bought a serious resort in Mozambique, and you are going to Mozambique. And you're telling me flying to Mozambique is a hassle. I have to fly to South Africa, then South Africa to come to... Oh, come on. You're making it hard for me to visit you.
No, but you will find the time, Mr. JK. We need to watch the final of the Champions League together.
Oh, by the way, yeah, I could come to Mozambique. I would love to do a podcast live there, but now not live because now we have to start pre-recording until then.
Yeah, you can do something on tourism. This is one of where we'll be, the hub, right? So, and there is so many very interesting destinations in Africa. So yeah, could be a good one.
Fantastic. It's always lovely speaking to you.
Thank you, JK. Thank you for your time. Thank you, everyone.